his memory is phenomenal. Okay, that's the first thing I always remember about Ilangovan. All right, we have known each other very think so well, and knowing his kind of dedication to students, youngsters especially, all not necessarily math students, all young students. He always mixes with people, gives them good advice, gives them directions, etc. And when he was in TAFR, then he joined University of Mumbai, later University of Hyderabad. Everywhere, he's perhaps the most loved teacher wherever he was. Okay. So, but my earnest request will be, I would also like, he has a lot of other hidden talents, and Professor Balasubramanian may be the best person to explain that. Okay. He is not only an accomplished mathematician, he is also a fantastic bridge player, which I have no idea about. Okay. So I think Professor Balasubramanian may give some ideas.
Yeah, exactly as Kumaran said, that my connection with Ilangovan is of a different thing. I don't think we have discussed much mathematics, but we have played as a team, as a pair, lot of times, bridge. I mean, that is the one which connects. And again, both of us are interested in gossip. And that's again one thing which connects us. And we at least call each other for at least twice a week to exchange the new gossips, etc. But I have heard from people who have heard his lectures that he is a great lecturer.
And I saw also the last parts of last two lectures and see that Professor Kumarasan and Professor Balasubramanian has already told few things. They know, I know him about 41 years now, Professor Ilangovan.
42.
Yeah, and they know at least 4 years more than that. And both his mathematics, about his bridge and all, people have already told a little bit. Let me repeat a bit. Those who has seen the photograph of his taking something prize from none other than this
Gavaskar.
Gavaskar, and there you see his young day handsome photograph, and already one of his fans, he has written that maybe Ajay Devgan learned something from him, his style. So anyway, back to Professor Ilangovan. So his both his teaching, okay, he's a very good teacher and he has a big fan following. Wherever he taught, and I know from the students there, the students really like his teaching, and not only teaching, he really follows up, and in the individual level, see, the students will have many problems, always may not be always really academic. So even teacher, as a teacher, we always cannot do that, but he manages to help them, encourage them, and so that goes because here also he people, students who for their UGC exam or UGC CSIR, he prepares them, helps them, and so not only these students, even see the senior faculty members and all who are his friends for many years now, they also need his suggestions and encouragement many times. Because going many years back in 89 or so, me and Professor Vasudhatta, we were postdocs in TIFR where Professor Ilangovan was there. So Professor Vasudhatta, okay, he used to tell, if you are depressed and all, go to Professor Ilangovan. That time he didn't become professor. So go to his office, he will immediately come with his encouragement and looking things positively and all this. This is the thing. So on some other occasion, maybe I'll tell more things about Professor Ilangovan. So thank colleagues, and I'm handing it over to.
On behalf of Curry Leaf Club, I welcome you all on this session. Today we are here to interview Dr. Sankar Ilangovan. So Dr. Sankar Ilangovan is currently working at RKM Very Belur Math. Prior to that, he has spent many years at University of Hyderabad, University of Mumbai as a faculty, and at TIFR Mumbai as a researcher. His prominent area of research is Lie algebra, in which he has also delivered a series of talks at the Karelif. Wherever he went, he has garnered an impressive following among students, earning their admiration and respect. His influence extended beyond the student body. He also cultivated strong camaraderie and garnered admiration from colleagues and professors alike. He dedicated a significant amount of time to supporting students, both academically as well as personally, making a lasting impact on their lives. We are obliged to announce that Professor Ilangovan has agreed for an interview with the Karelif team. So I would like to start with the very first question that, sir, when and how did you decide to pursue a career in mathematics?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And as I have been telling, I love interacting with the students. Professor Kumar has also made this comment when he was introducing me 2 weeks back. And essentially from my 10th standard itself, I had decided that I would do mathematics because, okay, in my primary school, everything was fine. And 6th, 7th, 8th standard and all, I was fooling around. Though I was getting pass mark everywhere, I was always getting 100 out of 100 in maths only. So when it comes to 10th standard, I have practically decided that I want to pursue. Of course, nobody knows at that time what research in mathematics is like. Till MSc also, I did not know what research in mathematics was like. Only after I went to TIFR, I came to know about that. But by 10th standard, I had decided, and in some sense, it helped also me that my father was a maths professor. That always helps, you know. My elder sister was also doing MSc mathematics, followed by MPhil. So by 10th standard, I had decided, and the most fascinating thing at that time about mathematics was solving riders. Unfortunately, those kind of things these days is not taught that much. Plane geometry, you know, plane geometry, where we solve various kind of problems using riders. That's what we used to call. That really got me hooked at that time. And that's how I decided, more or less by 10th standard, I had decided that I would start mathematics. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, sir. We heard that you are like you and experienced in the 4 lectures as well that you are a really good teacher. So, what do you enjoy most about teaching maths?
Students. For me, as I have been telling you, I love my students much more than my mathematics. So it's always nice to interact with the students. And about teaching, if you want to, who are the 3 people who have influenced me a lot? One was my 7th standard, 8th standard class teacher. His name is Mr. Lasser. And he had just finished, at that time it was called BT. Nowadays it's called B.Ed. So he just finished and came and started teaching. And like Jyoti was telling, he was trying to be like one of us kind of thing. And we were at 7th and 11-year, 12-year-old. And so it was very exciting to have a teacher who was very friendly to us. He tried to be strict at times also, but by and large, he was a very, very friendly teacher. And he was the first inspiration for me. And my second inspiration, of course, was my own father. Somehow I attended some of his BSc first year classes, again geometry classes I was attending. And I could see that he was trying to keep it very, very simple. Though I see, you know, everything, there are many proofs possible, but he always chose the simplest proof to give the students. So that is what I learned from him, that you have to keep it really simple rather than anything else. And third, of course, like all of you, I am also very, very impressed with Professor Kumaresan's passion for teaching. He is totally passionate when he was teaching. I am one of the lucky few who was one of his early students in that sense, because in TIFR, course-wise, we have only first-year courses at that time. Nowadays, they have second-year courses also. But unofficially, he had given me a lot of lectures in my own subject, Lie groups, Lie algebras. So that way, it was very inspiring. So these are the 3 people I have to pinpoint. I may not be exactly following their style, but you know very well, once you get inspired, the part of them automatically comes inside you. That's all. And as far as, once it's coming to teaching, I have told this to many of my students, I can tell you people also. I love mathematics without any doubt, but I love my students much more. That is a fact I have to accept. I love my students much more, and that is what makes teaching interesting for me.
Yeah, that's really, really wonderful. So my next question is, how did you choose Lie algebra as your interest in mathematics in your as your area of work?
Yeah, so that again is a very, very interesting thing. When I was doing MSc, I really loved functional analysis quite a lot. So I should be envying Jyoti right now, because of course everybody told me Madurai University had very, very good teachers. When I joined, it was a Madurai University. By the time I finished MSc, it became Madurai Kamaraj University. And we had a lot of very good teachers, and some of them had done PhD in Chicago University and joined there, etc. And they all told me that the right place for me will be TIFR and I should apply there and go. And I applied and got it and went there. And whenever people ask me what I want to do, I will tell that I want to do PhD in functional analysis. And everybody in TIFR used to laugh. And later I found out that nobody there does functional analysis. So as long as I was going to be in TIFR, there is no way I can do functional analysis. So this is one thing I tell my students also. Initially, don't be so much adamant that this is the area you want to do PhD in. So I can tell all of you also. Jyoti is the only one who has already joined. Tamagana has just joined a guide, he said, but I don't know what area and so on. Try to be flexible in your area of interest. It helps, because after that only I moved into Lee groups, which was Professor Kumaresan's area. And there was a lot of analysis going on in that Lee groups also. But then further I moved to more algebraic thing like Lie algebras, as you have seen from the last 4 lectures I gave. It has much more algebra flavor than the analysis. Though I love analysis a lot, and possibly at that time nobody in Madurai University told me about ISI. If I had jumped to ISI Calcutta, maybe I would have done functional analysis, would have been a different person and different mathematician. But I went to TIFR, though I wanted to do functional analysis, nobody did functional analysis. So I shifted my area to Lie groups and then further moved into Lie algebras. Yeah.
Okay, so my question now is kind of related to the answer that you just gave. So if not Lie algebras, what was the subject you would pursue a research in maths?
Okay, later in life, I have done some collaboration with 2 famous professors of TIFR, Professor Vikram Mehta and Professor Parameswaran, and that was in algebraic geometry. And there is a lot of connection in Lie theory and algebraic geometry, particularly the kind of algebraic geometry that is done in TIFR. See, the 4 areas, very big, broadly speaking, in TIFR, which are very popular those days. Nowadays, a lot more areas have come up, but some of the days are dying. Number theory, which Professor Balasubramanian belongs to. Then Lie theory, where Professor Kumaresan, Professor Raghunathan, Professor Parthasarathi, etc. belong to. But algebraic geometry was the biggest of them all. Almost half the people were working in algebraic geometry in TIFR. And other than that, there was a commutative algebra where specifically projective modules was the major area of interest. Somehow I have never had a fortune of having an elementary number theory course even in MSc. So if not Lie algebra, I would have gone either into algebra or algebraic geometry. Algebraic geometry I'm saying only because later I know that there is a lot of connection, particularly the area, as I said, vector bundles has a lot of connection with the Lie theory. That is how my collaboration with these 2 people happened. And so one of those 2 is what I would have moved. Analysis, okay, very, very little. Professor Dani had just started ergodic theory. It was still at the beginning stage. Actually, in some sense, I should tell this. Professor Kumaresan always encouraged me to go to talk to Professor Dani and do something in ergodic theory. Somehow I was not very keen. You know, I have already told you I love people and I didn't want to talk only to one person. I like talking to more people at any given time. And that Professor Dani was the only one. Now his school itself has become broad and dynamical systems. A lot of people are there in TIFR now. Even the current dean, Professor Anish Ghosh, also is from that. So I would have gone into algebra or algebraic geometry. That is what I can guess if I did not do this.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So now, maybe this question is a little bit related to this, but still, if not in mathematics, what path you might have taken?
Right. As you can see, I really love people. I mean, I love youngsters, and so I love people. So later on, I mean, if you think about it at the age of 40 or something, I would have thought that I would have been interested to have something in anthropology or psychology. Those kind of things would have been more interesting. But when I was in late teenage and 20s, I wouldn't have been thinking about anything else other than maths. See, in mathematicians, I can tell you also so many TFR people I have seen and so many other students also I have seen. It is roughly 50-50. Half the people have decided like me when they are doing school itself that they want to do mathematics. And another 50% are there who made up their mind only when they were doing masters and so on. It's roughly 50-50. I belong to this 50% who have taken an early decision. And if not that, most likely psychology would have been my interest. Yeah.
Okay. So as you mentioned that like you have taught in Mumbai or taught in Hyderabad, now in Belur Math. So can you please talk about the timeline of different phases of your professional life?
Yeah, so nowadays, as I said, last maybe around since 2018, I think I have been teaching what you people are children of millennium. The first batch that I taught in University of Hyderabad was very, very exciting for me because first time I'm going to teach children who are born after 2000. And see, okay, the big difference from Mumbai University to Hyderabad is that Hyderabad University has this integrated master's program like all the ICERs and so on. We have 5-year integrated master's program. So first 2 years, they all have common courses. And first time in my life, I was teaching students belonging to physics, chemistry, biology, and earth science background also. So that was always an interesting thing. And it was quite challenging also, particularly to motivate biology students to study mathematics and earth science students to study mathematics. But they are all teenagers and many times I have taught them first semester itself, so they were all so happy to come from school directly to a university with some 2,000-acre land that they can roam around so freely and things like that. And the energy and the enthusiasm they bring is something out of the world. So I really love teaching the integrated master students of Hyderabad University. That was a big revelation for me. I can talk a little bit later more about that also. But as we have been discussing, I can see the difference that from the time they join and from the time they come to masters. So the change does happen during BSc, though it's not physical change, mentally they change. And I had been wondering from the beginning why it happens. And my own, conclusion is that sometimes subjects become down, but sometimes and most often teachers also play a role. So that is why I think the teachers have a much bigger role to play at the college level and possibly even school level before they come to master's level. So there I was enjoying that. And here, okay, the bigger change is this. Mumbai University, though it's a state university, Mumbai itself is a cosmopolitan city. So I used to get students from all parts of the countries. Maharashtrians and Gujaratis were dominant, but still I used to have enough Tamilians. I have taught Gujaratis and I have taught even people from Himachal Pradesh and Bengal, of course. So that had a combined thing. And Hyderabad University is a central university, so it was naturally having a lot more people. And in mathematics, as you people may be aware, recently a lot of Bengal crowd is coming in. So Bengal Oriya crowd and North Indians also. Last few years, more North Indians have started coming. Exactly from 2019 batch, I can see the difference. Last 5 years, a lot more than North Indians coming. The big change for me here in the last 1 year, I have spent exactly 1 year, a little bit more. 17th August is when I joined last year here. And this university reminds me so much of my own MSc days because there we had only Tamilians and here we have only Bengalis, other than a few faculty. 3 of us faculty are not Bengalis, but other than that, students. Okay, only one student last year was from Bihar And earlier some students from Karnataka had come, but by and large it's all Bengalis. This year also I'm teaching one student from Mumbai, but he is also a Bengali. So it's very rare, of course, that Mumbai guy came all the way to learn from us. So there's a big flavor difference that I am exactly like what I was thinking in my own MSc days. And the students here also are very much like my own MSc batchmates. So there's a plenty of connection for me that way. It looks like I've gone back to my teenage. That's how it feels like here. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you mentioned all of these phases, which one is the dearest for you, most close to your heart?
Yeah, as I was telling already, teaching teenagers is a very, very different experience. I would have loved to teach teenagers, maybe in Vidya Mandira sometime I may try it. But teenagers is an extremely different thing because, just a few years before they are like children. And so the energy and the enthusiasm they bring, that is very, very infectious. I also could live that thing for 4 or 5 semesters. I taught the first year semester courses there, and that is really special. And I have told, see what happens, now after 2 years, they will come and join the master students only. In their third year, fourth year, they have common courses with master students. And when they come here, I have warned the master students. See, I love all my students, but I love my integrated master students even more. So you should not mind it if I am a little bit partial to them. I just want them, of course, though I'm not going to be partial in terms of marks, maybe in terms of affection, I can't help it. The teenagers is really something, and integrated masters, in some sense, they were giving me a fresh lease of life in teaching itself because that energy and enthusiasm I will never forget. Yeah.
So, sir, you are like as Balasubramanian sir mentioned, and even Kumreshan sir mentioned previously that you have a really good memory. So, how do you consider it? Is it a natural gift or like what?
Yeah, originally to begin with, I suppose it comes in the genes. No, my mother had a very good memory, so I might have got it. But I can tell you, as a senior citizen, it's all trying to go away from me. I am trying to hold on to it. So some kind of discipline, discipline always helps. Because earlier it was coming naturally thanks to the genes, as I said. My mother had good memory, so I might have got it from her. But nowadays, with the age coming up, I have to work hard to cope up. And what I believe is in discipline. Everything I try to put inside my mind this way, that way. I can connect to people. If all of 4 of you tell your birthday, I will remember it all my life. I can tell you that. So somehow that birthdays always stick to me because I always associate with somebody else. Now I know so many people, so many of your birthdays will be associated with some of my own friends or my students' birthdays. So memory, see, like everything in life, I should say, one thing is genes and another is what you take to nurture it also. So people used to say, mathematics and music both also come in genes. It's possible that I got even mathematics from my father, but how we nurture also matters. And even general, not just memory, even physical health also. How you are going to take care of your body also matters a lot. And all youngsters, now I have been talking about mental health. Now I will tell about physical health also. Particularly mathematicians, do something physical also to keep your digestive system going. All the pizzas and burgers that you eat, you should digest well. So do take care of your health physically and mentally both. And that is what I have been trying to do also. My memory might have come in genes, my good health also might have come. So far, see, last year when the opportunity came to move here, I didn't even think anything about my health because I was extremely pink of my health, like the color of my shirt. And that's why I didn't bother about my health to move. Only I requested them to give me a campus accommodation. I didn't want to commute at a late age like this. They were nice enough to give me campus accommodation. I have moved. So both are important, genes you inherit and how you take care of it. Younger age, I didn't have to bother. Now I have to work hard and keep my discipline to keep my memory going, honestly.
So
But
actually, this question was from Tamognada, and thanks to him, we got to know such a wonderful thing.
yeah, but since other people didn't know that you
Uh,
love bridge also equally as mathematics, and they are not bridge players, they have not asked any questions. Can you just recall your bridge experience?
Yeah, so when I was in Tamil Nadu itself, I did not know the game bridge, but I used to try to read. I have known other card games, so I was always curious about card games, and I used to read this bridge column by Nataraj Sharma in Hindu without knowing what it is all about, but I could roughly see it's a partnership game and all. So when I joined TIFR, I was so happy that so many people used to play. That was a very, very lively atmosphere for bridge. And when they have a tournaments, they used to, I mean, of course, first year I was not playing in tournament. They used to have even a knockout first round screening, and then second round they used to play in the afternoon. 30, 40 people playing, and it was fun to watch and play for a few years. So first few years I was playing bridge only in TIFR, and in the TIFR they used to have 3 tournaments, usually Independence Day tournaments, Republic Day tournament, and the Hostel Day tournament. So all these things I used to participate, and with various degrees of success as a beginner. And Professor Balasubramanian came back after his trip to US from 1980 to 82. And from 82, we started playing outside tournaments in Bombay. And slowly and steadily, we were improving. See, when you started, naturally, we were not winning everything. It took 2-3 years more. And that's why I remember Professor Balasubramanian's date of leaving TFR. He left in January 1985 because that is the last time we played in a tournament, and we came up to quarterfinals and lost. So that's how I know that he left in 1985 January. And after that, of course, I have won a lot of tournaments in Mumbai. But 2 things I have kept. First ever trophy, 1987, me and another TFR mathematician called Arvind Banerjee. So we too won a tournament, and that photos I have kept always. And the other photo I have kept is what I think Professor Adhikari was telling last week when he was introducing me. Once I received a trophy from Sunil Gavaskar just after he retired from cricket. So that is my Facebook profile photo also. So these are the 2 photos I have kept. So Mumbai, I have won a lot of tournaments, and a couple of national tournaments I have played. National tournament, we have reached again up to quarterfinals only. We never crossed quarterfinal level. That has been the limit. Once I moved to Hyderabad, somehow the tournament bridge did not happen because though in my colony we used to play in the club, the other players were not up to the tournament level except barring only one player who is around 10-12 years older than me. So he was not keen on playing in tournaments. So my tournament bridge came to an end 13 years back. And now after coming here, I have not played bridge at all. This summer vacation, I went to Hyderabad and spent 1 month in my colony, and every day we were playing bridge. So I really love bridge, of course, and it's a lot of combinatories. And as Balu was trying to bring it, it has a connection with memory also. See, you have to remember 52 cards when you play bridge. Sometimes, usually, yes, king, queen, jack, the top cards may be enough, but sometimes you have to remember the lower level cards also. So that also helps one's memory going. Bridge is one of the important things. I should say that helped me going with my memory. Yes.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear that apart from mathematics, you were engaged in such an interesting game as well. So we have learned from Professor Sukumar Das Adhikari that your friends often sought your support during challenging times. So how did you offer them encouragement and motivation?
Yeah, so that, as I said, I love interacting with the students, and each and every person has their own individual, and as you all know, everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and everybody has their own testing times. Since I mean, my association, even with TFR mathematicians, forget about the current students, even TFR mathematicians, it's a fact that maybe half the people had a absolutely happy career all through, and half the people have gone through slogging times. Stress does catch up with half of them at least. And so I have seen how things work out. And as I was talking earlier also, when you people only asked me what should have been an alternate career for me, I said psychology might have been an alternate career. So that also came from this only. It's not just a question of my own students, actually. In some sense, I have been friendly with all the TIFR students till I left Mumbai. Though I might have left TIFR and started teaching in Mumbai University and all, most of the evenings I used to spend with TIFR students, and weekends also we used to watch movies and go for dinners and so on. So that also helped me in touch with the students, and I have done enough counseling for the TAFR students themselves, and many of them are good friends with me even now, though they may be some of them 10 years younger, some of them 20, 25 years younger. Still, we have always been having that kind of a thing. And Professor Adhikari, of course, he was coming to us a postdoc like Vasudev Datta, as he mentioned. They were all postdocs in TAFR. That time, unlike nowadays that so many universities have come up, that time not that many institutes had come up. So that's what I used to tell them, that why you are worried unnecessarily. If people have done PhD in such good places, definitely you will get a job. It's a question of when and where, that's all. And as it happens, Professor Adhikari went to HRI and Professor Vasudev Datta went to IAS. He had successful careers, and now both are in Kolkata. Vasudev Datta is associated to some private institute called Crest, and Adhikari sir is here. So this has been an ongoing process in some sense. And as I said, these are all my contemporaries, but I should thank a lot all my TAFR friends who are much younger than me, and still they kept me going with those kind of things. And that helped me in turn when I continued with the students. I didn't have a age gap when I started teaching, because all the TAFR students were friendly with me and I knew them very well, and I was always in touch with the youngsters all my life in that sense. So being in touch with TAFR students helped me a lot, I think. And case by case one has to go through. It's not as if one solution is going to work for anybody. As you all know, mathematics, you might have seen so many formulae, but there is no single formula to inspire all the students and so on. Each and every student has their own mind, and we try various possible ways, hoping that something clicks with somebody. But when you know the student better, it always helps how to do it.
As you mentioned, like from the beginning of the interview, we have been hearing a lot about your experiences in your, work life. So, what is the best moment in your work life till now, like the memorable one?
Best, okay, see, if you have to work, first I have to talk about thesis. No, but when I got my thesis work, that is the best memory, because I really had to slog for 1 month for a problem. And finally, when you solve, all of you, mathematics, what we love about, it's all about solving problems. It's not about reading theorem proof, right? So when you solve even hard problem at your BSc level or MSc level, you are happy. And finally, at research level, you slog and solve something. So that is the best moment. If you ask me about one best moment, naturally it is getting my thesis problem solved. That is the best moment of my life. Teaching wise, one has to see still, I can't say, maybe best is yet to come. I can always hope that way. I always keep hoping that best is still to come as far as teaching, because research I have stopped maybe 10, 12 years back, but teaching I'm still continuing. So I do hope that teaching still best is yet to come.
So far, you have got a long journey, and we have got lots of things to get to know from you. So, what I'd like to ask in this regard is, what inspires you to keep going?
Students. Without any doubt, it's students. I wanted to say, I think Tamagana wrote to me today that, of course, today some things will be edited and so on. I was joking that hopefully you won't edit in such a way that wrong meaning will go out. But I wanted to tell something in the last 5 minutes. That time I will tell something about the students also. That I will keep for the last 5 minutes, unless we reach for the last 5 minutes. But students are the only reason. Why I moved from Mumbai to Hyderabad, because I can teach for 5 more years. Why I have come after retiring from Hyderabad, I can very only students. Nothing else but students. That is the only inspiration for me, honestly.
Okay, so lastly, what would you advise to the students currently?
Going by all the past experience, one thing you all know, the children of millennium, what is known as the Frankenstein effect. I didn't mention this when I was teaching the Lie algebra course. The Frankenstein has the side effect also. Mobile phone, one of the simplest things, which has been extremely useful, but it has a lot of negative effects, because many people are getting into mobile phone addiction, and that leads to what is known as the attention deficiency syndrome. Okay. In 2011, My last lecture for the MSc batch went on for 5.5 hours. Okay, I am always stickler to time. I always try to finish in 1 hour every lecture. My last lecture is a marathon always. And that too 5.5 hours, I had to stop because HOD came and stopped it. He said, how long you want to continue? So he stopped it. The point is that all the students could sit for 5 hours and they were enjoying it also. It's not that they are getting bored and they wanted to finish it. They were all enjoying. Half an hour gap we had. It started in the morning 9 o'clock and it went on till 2:30 and half an hour gap I had. So if you ask me to repeat it now, first of all, I myself won't have that stamina. But even more than that, the youngsters don't have stamina. Current attention span, though I like to teach only 1 hour lecture, 45 minutes is generally the limit nowadays. Somehow you people have to improve the concentration. And another unfortunate thing is, this is a joke I always tell, that in the turn of the millennium, suddenly biological evolution in human beings have been very, very phenomenal. Instead of brain being at the head, it has become in the fingertips. All that happens is you punch something, and you get an answer. So this is what I told you during my lectures also. People somehow confuse internet and intelligence. So this is internet and this is what is intelligence. Do solve problems. If you want a successful career in mathematics, solving problems in books is the only way you are going to learn the subject properly. Just by reading theorem proof, you are not going to get to understand everything. And seeing the solution early in advance, either from ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I know that it has a lot of mistakes also. So I'll tell you this one interesting thing. During online teaching now, you know that many of the students tend to copy in the exams, okay? So I was trying my best, and one more colleague of mine, Professor Adhikari student called Mohan Chintamani in University of Hyderabad. We all didn't mind passing students, but we didn't want to give majority people A plus and all. It didn't make any sense for me. So we used to try and give problems which are not in internet. We try our best to give problems which are not in internet. So most of them, it will work always. And some of the problems were in the internet with the wrong solution. ChatGPT was giving a wrong solution. Students are happily writing the wrong solution and getting a nice 0 from me. So ChatGPT or artificial intelligence is good for learning maybe general, but don't try learning solutions of mathematics problems. Solve mathematics yourselves and be happy whatever you are doing. That's the easiest way you are going to learn things. It's not as if somebody is forcing you and so on. You learn yourself very, very happily. Mental health, physical health, both are important for learning. And generally, these are the two things I should tell. Somehow you have to increase your concentration. Don't become mobile phone addicts, either through gaming or through internet, whichever way. I know that enough game addicts are also there and internet addicts are also there. So both of them, please try to avoid. Yeah, that's nothing more than that.
Yeah, so on such a nice occasion, since the questions and answers are going on at such a nice pace, I would like to invite Bala sir if he has something to ask or something to share.
No, yesterday I was talking to Pralay Chatterjee, who was recalling your PhD days. And essentially, he said that you submitted your PhD around the same time, the Pralay. Yeah. Can you say something about that? Yeah.
Means about Pralay, what connection, what I should tell?
No, I was just talking to him that you have this interview today.
Yeah. As I said already, all TFR students continue to be friendly with me. So it was always a pleasure. And that always helped me when I started teaching in Mumbai University, because there was always a continuous age group of friends that I have had. And they have shared their own problems with me and so on. Not only Pralay Chatterjee and me submitted around the same time, maybe 6 months of each other. We had the same guide also.
Oh.
And 6 months before me, this Robinson Raja submitted, who is in ISA Bangalore. He is also Professor Dhani's official student. So it was interesting that one after other we were all submitting around the same time. So yeah, other than that, nothing special I can tell. I don't want to say I didn't want to bring it to specific names, but since we are talking about specific names, 2 names I have to mention among TFR friends. TA for students who were extremely close to me in the sense we have had maximum number of dinners together and watched maximum number of movies together. One is Professor Yogesh Valla, who continues to be TA for as a professor. Another is Professor Sudarshan Gurjar, who is in IIT Bombay. Some of these two people are the ones with whom I have had maximum number of movies and dinners connection. Of course, with Pralay Chatterjee, as Balu was telling, I have gone for movies and dinners, but number is much less. That's what I mean.
That was really nice to hear, sir. Now, Jyoti ma'am has something for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Now we will ask you some more questions. So can you guess?
No.
He wants you to guess the questions that we are going to ask you.
That's what I'm saying. I can't guess. Unfortunately, no.
Okay, okay. I'm going to give you a hint. I am going to ask you 10 questions.
Same 10 questions that I asked you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me first guess. Of course, everybody knows I am Ilangovan and people can call me IG. See, yesterday, this is the interesting thing about interview. Yesterday only I came to realize one interesting thing that I studied in 4 schools, I studied in 4 higher education institutes, and I worked in 4 higher education institutes. It's a very, very interesting coincidence. Only thanks to this interview I came to remember this. Okay, so my native place is Madurai. That is where I was born and brought up for the first 20 years of my life. And yeah, as I said, 4 schools I studied that. We won't bother about whatever schools they were. Though St. Mary's School is where I met Professor Lasser, as I told you. He was my class teacher in 7th and 8th standard and was a very, very big inspiration for me. And then colleges, first I studied in a college called Majra College. Those days, this +2 was called PUC that we have to do in college. Then BSc, I studied in American College. There is one small secret here. I think Balu knows. I'm not 100% sure even whether he knows this. As such, my father, though he was a math professor, he had a vision that computer science will be the big thing of the future. So he tried his best to convince me to go to computer science. And I was dodging because I was passionate about mathematics. So he thought he would play one smart game with me that he would somehow send me to IIT so that there, even if I do mathematics, I may change my mind that way. So he asked me after this thing that I should write the IIT JEE. So I wrote the IIT JEE. Those days, competition is not like nowadays, though there were coaching classes and so on. Anyway, I qualified, and at that time, integrated masters in mathematics was happening only in 2 IIT. There were only 5, 6 IITs, of course. And IIT Delhi and IIT Kanpur were the only 2 things which had integrated masters in mathematics. And as I love big cities, I didn't want to go to Kanpur. I went to IIT Delhi. And so I am an IIT Delhi dropout. Now all of you know, I don't know whether Balu knew this fact before. So I stayed for 2 months there and I got fed up not because of the IIT or missing home and things like that, more because of standing in physics lab and chemistry lab. I hated all those labs. And like the integrated masters here, those days, 3 semesters are common for everybody. Whatever subject you choose, 3 semesters are common. So 3 semesters I had to do physics and chemistry labs. So I really hated it. And that's how I told my parents, I am fed up with all these things. I want to come back. So luckily, there is this American college where they had something called BAC, Special Mathematics, where we do only mathematics, and if at all some applied mathematics, there is no physics, no chemistry, nothing. So since I cried so much, they allowed me to come back. I came back and did 3 years of BSc there, and then MSc I did, as I said, I was in Madurai University. When I joined, it was Madurai University. By the time I finished, it became Madurai Kamaraj University. And from there, I went to TIFR and did PhD. So that is the education story. As I was telling you people that some questions may bring the things which are less known to my own friends. As I said, this my IIT Delhi story is something very, very few people know it. Now all of you also know this. And then, of course, I was in TIFR. TIFR those days had a different system. It was not quite a graduate school in the strict sense. First year, we are all research scholars. And once you cross the first year qualifier or interviews, you become research assistant, as they call it. We become regular employees of the institute. And then I moved to Mumbai University and then moved to Hyderabad University. And now I am in Architecture. So that's why I said 4 schools I studied, which I did not mention, which are the 4 schools, then 4 colleges or universities, and then 4 places I have worked also. Hopefully this will be the last job. Top 3 likes, of course, music, movies, and bridge. And bridge, of course, is a big hobby also, and watching movies naturally and listening to music. Morning 7 to 10, always my TV will be on. It will always be in the background. Say, when I was your age or even younger, we all used to listen to Vivid Bharati and Radio Ceylon that used to play Tamil music. So that will always be in the background. Like me and my elder sister used to do our own maths problems. So that is what I always use. Music is always in the background for me, film music only mostly. After going to TIFR, I did learn how to appreciate other music, but film music is what sticks to that. Dislikes, of course, even among students, I can tell you, students who are insincere, they think that they are very smart and they can cheat by talking, showing, faking interest. So those kind of fake people I don't like. And students who copy in exams, I don't like. I tell them also, don't copy because you will get into the bad books of me, which is not a nice thing. Third, I don't know, insincerity generally. So I don't like, I always believe in sincerity and honesty. So I don't like. So those are the dislikes. What is the next one? Ambition. What ambition now I can have? It's a joke to ask me about ambition at this my age. But I can tell you this, when I was your age, whatever ambition I had maybe 50% of it only I have achieved. But that 50% of achievement itself is good enough. And that is why, like Dr. Abdul Kalam said, they all should be ambitious when you are young. And when you reach for the stars, even if you reach on moon, you will be happy about it. So 50% of ambition fulfillment itself is a very, very happy state of mind for me. So that is the ambition part. Then what is the other thing? Of course,
Hobby.
hobbies is, bridge, watching movies, more or less likes and hobbies are almost same. Listening to music and watching and so on. And of course, I like in touch with so many people. Thanks to my age, I have so many friends whom I know for 50 odd years. I mean, not just my cousins and all. See, just last December, I was in Madurai and we were having a golden jubilee of joining our college, American College. 1973, we joined. So 2023 December, we had a meeting. Out of 22 students, 23 students we had, a couple of them have passed away. Out of the 21 alive, 11 turned up. So it was nice. We all went on. So I do love meeting people. So when I go for visiting places and all, people say, what place you saw? Like when I came to Kolkata last year, and I said, I don't go to place to watch places. I like to go and meet people. So meeting people is, I don't know where to put it. I can't put it in liking, disliking thing. This is something else. It's a passion for me. I love meeting people. That's why, and youngsters even more, because there is always a curiosity of how all of you are going to shape up in life. And I want everybody to be happy, of course, happiness. And so be happy and make others happy has always been philosophy of my life. What is the last thing? Anything left?
What do you love about yourself?
I think I should say everything only, because I am too old with so many experiences and everything I love. Having a good memory maybe is a very, very big asset. That's what I should say. Maybe I love because of memory, so many good things I remember and they keep coming to my mind randomly, like the crow putting stones in the water. Suddenly something will come and I will call that friend whoever was involved and ask him. That person may not remember anything, but vaguely he will try to recall, okay, like that. So it is always wonderful to have a good memory, I think. That's what maybe the best thing about me, but I love everything about myself, I think. I shouldn't say shamelessly. Yes, everything done?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So anything special that you want to mention here, sir?
Yeah. This is something I had written about my students. See, thanks to some of my students who used to write some kind of poetry. And my mother, okay, my father was a math professor. My mother has written poetry books in Tamil. And so my younger sister actually is a PhD in French literature, and she taught in Xavier's College in Tuticorin in Tamil Nadu, and she retired recently. So somehow, because of all those connections and my own students who were writing poetry, I started writing some poetry. What loosely can be talked poetry, like Professor Balasubramanian's son got married 5 years back. I wrote something for him also, his wedding. So this is something my mother used to do. Somehow that genes came up to me. So this is what I had written about my students. As I told you already, my students, okay, so it's a simple fact. So many people will say that I am self-made. Some people will say, no, my parents helped me, or my teachers helped me, my uncle helped me, etc. So apart from my father, actually, because of my father, I had an aunt and uncle. They were also teachers. My uncle was a math teacher. My aunt was a physics teacher. So they all were inspired by my father. There are various kind of inspiration maybe there, but in the long run, how I am proceeding, even after retiring, continuing and all, and thanks only to my students. What I am telling you is a very, very special thing. I may not be really unique, but I am one of the rarest of the rare. I am totally out and out students made teacher. Okay, I am not like teacher made student and all. I am a students made teacher. When the first time I teach, and when some student says that I teach well, then I think, okay, people say I teach well, I should teach even better. And when somebody tells me that I am an inspiring teacher, I say, okay, this is new to me. Now that I'm inspiring teacher, I should find more and more ways of inspiring students. So this is how it has been all through going on. Even now, when I meet these Bengali students, I try to find out their own weaknesses and their own strengths. It is easier here because, as I told you, in Mumbai, it was a cosmopolitan city. Each and every people coming from different culture and so on. In Hyderabad, it is even more so, people coming from different. Here, people almost have the same culture. So it's easier to handle them that way. But this is something I had written about my students. That's what I wanted to read. And in case you are editing, make sure that this part is not cut. Most important part for me is this. So this is all about my students. The treasure of my life, joy beyond all joys. The treasure of my life, joy beyond all joys. Memory sweeter than any sweet. I am a very big sweet lover. I am very happy to be in Bengal because of the sweets. Memory sweeter than any sweet. You have changed me forever. Memory sweeter than any sweet. You have changed me forever. World weary and street smart I was for a long time. World weary and street smart I was for a long time. You brought me back my young and innocent days. You brought me back my young and innocent days. Some of you say that I am an inspiring teacher. Some of you say that I am an inspiring teacher. The truth is this, all of you have inspired me all along. The truth is this, all of you have inspired me all along. Okay, so that is what I had written about my students, and I think that I am totally students made.
Yeah, very nice point, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was really, really nice. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
The literature background is really reflecting in the poem as well. Okay, so if
You
anyone
are
would like,
multi-talented.
Sorry?
You are multi-talented.
yeah.
No, not at all.
Mm.
It somehow
Yeah.
started. This is what I call a loose sense poetry. It's not like 100% poetry with grammar and things like that, but it's a loose sense. Yeah, I can send you my blog address also. I have put all my poetry in a blog.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Sure, please.
So, Balu, did you know about my IIT Delhi story?
No, I didn't know. Yeah, this is the first time I come to know of
That's
that.
what very few people knew about it. My poetry writing, you know, because of my what I wrote for your
Yeah,
son.
for Ravi, yes.
Yeah, thanks to all of you. Anyway, 3 weekends you have been keeping me busy. 2 weekends for giving lectures, and this weekend with this interview.
So it was really a heartfelt interview. We all enjoyed it So far, I think whatever interviews the team has conducted, I think this was one of the most engaging, emotionally as well as intellectually engaging interview. I thank you for agreeing to give us an interview. I also thank Bala sir for being present. And I thank MTTS Trust for continuously supporting the Career Club. Lastly, I'd like to thank all the organizing committee of the Career Club. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, anyway, the pleasure is entirely mine. Balu is, of course, an added bonus. I always love interacting with students. As I said, narrowly I have missed teaching Tamagana just before he passed out. If I had joined a few years before, maybe I would have taught him. But other people, I didn't have any chance of teaching. Only the online lectures I can consider you as a student. So do well and do keep in touch. As I have told you, any issue, though you are not my students, you are most welcome to contact me. And I will be sending you what all I'm supposed to send. Article about Balu that I had written some time back. And I will give you my blog address also, where a lot more poetry is there, and quite a few, you know very well, some of the stories I have told also in the class when I was teaching, like human beings and objects and things like that. So I have cute collections. Still, some of the stories I have not written. Now that we are having an interview like this, it inspires me to start my blog again. Some of the stories that I have not written there, I have told students I should write. Okay. Thanks a lot. It was wonderful talking to you people.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you so much.